righty. I think we're back now, ready to go. I want to say happy Monday to you and hope that you are uh, having a great start of your week, preparing for your holiday festivities, which will take place towards the end of the week. And this is what I really want to talk about. I want to talk about some of the mental health uh, deterrents and factors that make up a lot of what people are going through or will go through during the holiday season. We know statistically that uh, the actual American Psychological Association reported and surveyed that 40% of people sort of increases their mental and anxiety stress during the holidays. So definitely want to make sure that the people that I am talking to sort of have some strategies that can help them to navigate through this time period and have a productive and blessed holiday, especially if you're going to involve family in it. But there are some areas, and you saw if you looked at my post, there are 5 areas that sort of contribute to some of these areas of holiday stress. And one of them, and I want to talk about 2 of them today, but let me mention the 5 that I'll talk about over the next 3 days. One is family and social pressures. The other one is unreasonable expectations. One is dietary concerns. One is maintaining diet and sleep routines. And one that I'm also going to talk about today is feeling of sadness, loneliness, and loss. And we know that during the holiday and as we progress going towards the Christmas holiday and then the new year, that in many times it's going to put us in situations where we're going to be around family or we're going to be by ourselves. And that's when, you remember the old saying, they say the idle mind is the devil's playground. And that's when we get caught up into our own internal conversations. And if you remember some of the things that I spoke about before, that during the course of each day, we have 50 to 75,000 conversations with ourselves. And so as we're having these conversations with ourselves, many of them, if you could if you could journal all of the thoughts that came in your head on a daily basis, and then you went back and you had somebody read them to you, would you like the person that was saying those things to you? And so when we don't realize that internally we are every day chopping at the iceberg that we are. We chop off a little bit of our greatness every day by our internal thoughts. And it's not because of our internal thoughts or how we think about ourselves. It's just a mere fact that our internal thoughts never give us the opportunity to be as great as we possibly can be. Or we don't take those opportunities and we don't give them merit. We look at them as just, oh, they're just thoughts, so I get rid of them. But if you don't get rid of something, as in the 48 laws of power says, when you get rid of something, you crush it. If you don't crush those thoughts will then start to plant in fertile soil, and they will then manifest into something that may determine your total outcome. And so as we're talking about this stuff, we want to talk to you about 2 of the things. But those 5 things also are covered under an umbrella of 3 different things. And those for me are freedom from discrimination and violence. Number 2 is social inclusion and exclusion. And 3, access to economic and financial resources. So over the next 2 or 3 days, I'm going to talk about those 3, but under the auspices of these other 2. So I first want to talk about family and social pressures. Now we know in the next few days we're going to have gatherings at our homes. We're going to go to the grocery store. We're buying food. We're wondering now as people get older if this person can eat this, if this person can eat that. I don't know if this person's lactose intolerant. I don't know who's bringing what. We really haven't had those conversations. And that puts a lot of stress on the individual who's hosting the Thanksgiving festivities at their home. Also, one of the things that is very, very prevalent, and most of us don't think about it, is that we usually don't get with family like this except one time a year. So for 364 days after this Thanksgiving holiday is over, that person goes back into their life. And when they come to your house 364 days later, they bring all of the trauma, all of the things that have been occupying their space for those 364 days. They bring all of their problems, they bring all of their grief, they bring all of their hate, all of their jealousy. Do they bring love? they bring love at the best possible way they can bring it. And so we have to also prepare for that. And as we go through this process, we have to set expectations for what our dwelling is going to accept. You can't accept a peaceful dwelling if you also invite negative influences. And so as we're talking about these going on with these negative influences, we also have to provide opportunities for our family to actually have the best opportunities they are. One of the things is that we know that Thanksgiving brings up situations where those who introduced us into the tradition may not be sitting at the table any longer. Or if they are sitting at the table, they are not as energetic, or they're not as talkative, or they're not as coherent as they used to be. And we were used to having that person being our instructor, or giving us guidance and wisdom, or sharing some of that oral tradition that goes on in family gatherings. And we have lost that because the generations who come after them, who may be us now, we are no longer concerned about sharing success stories of our family purpose, our family journey, our family history. We're just concerned about getting the food, celebrating with some libation, sitting down in front of the TV, allowing the kids to go this way, allowing the teenagers to go this way, allowing our friends to go this way, and we never come back and we never have a session of what it's like and what the meaning of family and tradition means. And this is what causes those family and social pressures, because we have lost in our communities the ideology of what it means to be a family. We really have. And the reason why I'm saying is this, because yesterday I was in the store and there was a family who must have been shopping for Thanksgiving. And two of the younger boys, I want to say they're teenagers, they got into a heated battle about what they were going to eat as far as turkey or ham. And I mean, their mother just stood there and she allowed this to happen. And it took strangers to step in and tell them to stop the conversation. Why don't you get both? Why don't you get both? And they were so consumed with this conversation that they didn't even think about, why can't I get both? And that just goes to show that there's no expectations in how you bring people to make a decision and they're unable to make a decision. So as we talk about going forward with the holidays, I want you to do a few things. I want you to think about some things that you can do to make your family experience as we go forward under the auspices of Thanksgiving, to be a little bit more uh, healthier. Make it healthier, because you know your health is your wealth, and that's what we're talking about. But we also want to make sure that when people start to encourage all of this information, we want them to understand that we do not incorporate them, as some people may say, that the discrimination of some of these holidays are not meant for everybody. They were meant and produced to be inclusive for everybody. And with that, we also know during these particular times, people who are feeling less welcomed, less loved, will resort to some things to bring people down to their level. And that's what we talk about. We have to develop strategies to decrease and separate ourselves from the freedom of discrimination and violence. But one of the things I want you to also talk about, and to talk about amongst your family, is how you incorporate the younger people now to begin taking on the roles that were sort of roles by the elders. If you pray before your food, teach the young children about the purpose of prayer and what the outcome of prayer can be. Don't just tell them to pray. Don't just tell them to pray. If you haven't taught them how to pray, teach them how to pray. And then you can actually get them to be more inclusive into these family gatherings, and give them an opportunity to have an opportunity to share what they want as far as these family gatherings. Because before you turn around, just like us, before you turn around, you're going to be those elders. And the next family gathering, you may not be as coherent as you are today, and you may not be able to continue doing the things that you have done over the years because of your youthfulness. And so as we move forward in this, we have to realize that every generation has a mission. I remember when my grandmother told me that every generation should be informing the next generation to be better than the current generation. That's what we lost. That's what we've lost. And that's what we need to gain. And so as we move forward, this is my house call message to you today. I thank you for allowing me to enter your dwelling. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to broadcast this message so that you prepare for your family gathering in 4 days and that you have a plan of peace and serenity and growth within your family dwelling that gives the family an opportunity to reach its full potential of greatness. This is not something that's not that you can't do. It's totally doable. It's just that we have to get out of our own way and get out of our own conversations and get out the way of some people who are going to come to your house and more successful than you. But you also got to realize there's going to be some people who come to your house who are not doing as well as you. So what we need to do is find the common ground and to grow from the common ground up so that our family is able to be the amazing family that the Creator has possessed us to be. And so, with that said, I thank you again for allowing me into your humble abode and your dwelling. And this is your man, Dr. Rory T. Edwards, on my house call, talking about the mental health detriments and factors that take place during the holiday season. And tomorrow, I'll be here, same time, same channel, to talk about social inclusion or exclusion and to talk about maybe unreasonable expectations. And so, with that, I hope you have a great day of shopping. I hope you have a great day of planning. I hope you have a great day of thinking about what you're going to do to make your younger members of your family inclusive in this process. All right, until we talk tomorrow, may the Creator bless you and may all of your parts of your journey be as successful as your positive thoughts. So until we talk again, Ashe. Please pass this on to those that you know may need this information. Thank you. Ashe.